Hyenas. So I remember when I was a kid, like, hyenas are terrifying. Like, don't let anybody else tell you different. Hyenas are terrifying. They are big. They're like, think big dog size. Even though they're not a dog, they're actually more closely related to cats. But they're like big dog size. And hyenas are smart. And there have been tales, and how true that is, I don't know, but there have been tales of hyenas coming after humans, and then you chase them. You chase them off, and then they run off, and you follow them, thinking that you have won. You then chase them off, and you chase them quite a long distance, and at some point, they just turn around and they come for you. And yeah, that's when you die. I'm not sure whether there have actually been accounts of that happening, but when I was a kid, that was one of my greatest fears, because I had been told that is, in fact, what happens with hyenas, what hyenas do. So I've been wary. Like, I've had quite a few close, not encounters per se with hyenas, but I have been very close to hyenas. Like, in some parks in South Africa, for example, there aren't fences around the camps, or at least in Southern Africa, there aren't fences around the campsites. You go camp there, and hyenas come into camp, and if you go to the bathroom at night, or in the early mornings, you go find hyena tracks all over the floor there, because they've actually gone into the bathroom to go drink from the toilets. Yeah, there's such a things. And one of my first memories of a hyena actually came from Zimbabwe. We were camping in Zimbabwe. This was 1998. So I was very young. I was 8 years old at that point in time. Oh, we've got megaloceros coming along this year. Oh, no, these are deer. Oh. Deer are new, aren't they? Deer are new. I don't think we had deer yet. Unless we just were not lucky enough to actually encounter them. Anyway, so, as I was saying, we had this, we were camping in Zimbabwe. I was 8 years old at that point in time, 1998, turning 9. And we had been warned. When we got to the camp, the warden said, listen, there are no fences around the camp, so the hyenas come into the campsite. Put away everything that you have. And the wind was blowing quite a bit. So the flap of the tent was actually like flapping up and down, and it was blowing into the tent. The wind was blowing into the tent. And my mother put her leather shoes. Yeah, that's a mistake, but she put her leather shoes on the flap to keep it from flapping up and down. And my dad said, just tie the laces of the shoes to the pole, the center pole of the tent. And she did that. And that night we woke up with the tent leaning to the side, because the hyena had put his head into the tent, grabbed the leather boot, and started running off with it. And yeah, then he kind of just pulled the whole tent to the side, which was quite interesting. But that's one of my first memories of hyenas, was the hyena pulling our tent apart to get to the leather boots. Yeah, that deer is a tough one. I think our doggies may be bringing him down. There we go, the bow got him. Nice. Okay, we've got some hunters. We've got more deer coming. So we took out the buck. Let's go for 2 does, I think, in total. That should be enough. There we go. That's enough hunting for us. That should be enough meat for the tribe. Brilliant. Brilliant. Alright, let me just also double check that I've got all messages showing. I don't miss any messages from you guys. Hyenas knowing the feign retreat tactic. Yeah, many empires fell for that. Indeed. Indeed. It's quite amazing. Like, they would run away and then just turn back, and yeah, you'd be screwed. As I said, I'm not 100% sure how true that is, but that was one of my great fears. Then, check that you have infinite harvesting for wheat and peas, so you don't waste your harvests. Yeah, so for the wheat, definitely, I think, yeah, unlimited it seems. I think that if that's what you're referring to, I think, oh, wait, I think that is with limits, isn't it? It's with limits. Let's see, wheat here, there we go, unlimited. And I'm assuming, yeah, everything here is set to unlimited. That is marvelous. Oh, we've got a bit more food coming in. Marvelous. And then you also say, just checked in from the last video, deer and bear second in the XP tab are new. Maybe some other species appeared. Oh. There we go, we've got bone knives, we've got another knowledge point. let's see. So we've got woolly rhinos still around. Woolly mammoths are still around. Cave bears. Bear. I think bear I did see last time, but I'm not 100% sure on that. We haven't seen deer until this evening, so that's great that we finally managed to get that. Let's see. Cave lions. All of these we had encountered before. Bison I haven't seen yet. The normal bison. I've seen the ancient bison. Haven't seen the normal bison. Lasmotherium I haven't seen either. Alright, and then feral horses I think will come in when we reach the Copper Age. Okay. I love the fact that we now have a whole bunch of sledges. I think we've got 5 sledges. So people are just like dragging them around all over the show to carry all the heavy stuff. The rocks, the logs, the carcasses, all those types of things are being carried around. Okay, so there were cave bears, but not bears, and bison is also new. Okay, so all those coming in now, and that really is great because it does show. Because we had the antique bison antiquus, eventually becoming bison. Yeah, it was bison something. The steppe bison became the longhorn bison latifrons, which became bison antiquus, which became bison, the modern day American bison. Yeah, so the whole lineage there. And I love the fact that I think the ancient bison will go extinct at some point, and only the bison will remain behind. Also, this is the last age for some animals like mammoths and woolly rhinos, maybe some cave animals, etc. I think the cave hyenas will also disappear after this age. Yes, so we are going to have to potentially still do another mammoth hunt. Well. No, we're not going to hunt these ones. These are the last remnants of the previous hunt. We're not going to hunt this adult female, this old female, and this calf. We're not going to hunt them. They survived our last attack on the mammoths. We're going to leave this herd alone. Not going to hunt them. I refuse to hunt them. I was about to say we can go on another mammoth hunt. This is the last chance for that. But I'm not going to hunt that herd. There is a boar we can hunt here. A solitary boar. Yeah, it's a solitary one. We can go after it. I think... I think... 3 hunters. I think I want 3 hunters. There we go. 3 hunters. Come after this boar for me, please. Maybe you'll get a doggy to come along as well. A doggy or 2. There we go. There's a doggy. 2 doggies coming along. Great stuff. Dog domestication. I don't think we've got any cats we can domesticate. Cats kind of domesticated themselves. Dogs we may have actually actively domesticated, but cats just kind of appeared and hung around because they enjoyed, hunting the mice, especially when this happened. When we started cultivating crops and storing the crops. Oh, can we perhaps build storage haystack? That's for straw. Oh, we can't. A storage hut we need thatching for. Okay, we'll get that in a moment. And the granary we need thatching for. Okay, we're going to have that momentarily. But anyway, so when we started domesticating grains and we started cultivating grains and then we started storing the grains, obviously rodents love eating it. So the rodents started hanging around where we were, hanging around our settlements, eating our food. And the cats just kind of came along and started eating the rodents. But the weird thing is that obviously we as humans then went and we petted the cats and tried to domesticate them to some extent. They kind of did, as I mentioned, domesticate themselves in the process. But what also happened is they developed a tolerance for... Oh, there we go, great stuff. They developed a tolerance for more vegetable matter as we domesticated them. Modern day cats, our house cats, can actually tolerate a bit of vegetable matter, plant matter. And they can tolerate it better than the wild cats can, and than the ancestors of the house cats most likely could, which is really quite cool. So no friendly cats in this game. Would have loved to have a nice little house cat in this game, but not to be. Right, let's see. We need thatching. I think this is going to be the next thing we do need, so let's grab thatching then, shall we? Here we go. Because it is required for so many things, including cheese making and all those types of things. So, what do we need? We now need a nice granary, I think. So we are going to put the granary here where we are growing our crops. Let's just put it over here. And you know what? We are also going to put a haystack over here. There we go. Because the haystack is where we are going to store some hay. Marvelous. Okay, so we are in spring. I'm wondering whether the seeds have actually been planted. They should be growing. I guess as we get into summer. Oh, I see. We've got very low workload. Ah. Okay, so we are going to... Oh. Okay, we could have collected tannins there, but I don't think we did. Okay. We could have... so, tannins we can get from oak trees. And of course, that's the acorns we grab that from. But then we also have tannins here in the fir. And I think the tannins in here would be from collecting possibly the cones, but more likely the leaves. I'm not sure where the tannins are found. Most likely in the leaves, because tannins is actually an anti-herbivory tactic. You find it in a lot of plants. I almost said a lot of animals. You find it in a lot of plants that don't want to be eaten by herbivores. The shrubby, woody plants. They produce tannins. And they produce it and they put it in their leaves. And they can do that relatively quickly. The tannins do degrade over time in UV radiation, and just over time it does deteriorate. But the plant can very quickly produce the tannins and then just replenish it in their leaves. So if an antelope, for example, were to feed on an acacia, it can very quickly produce tannins and take it to its leaves. So now we're heading into summer, I think. What can we harvest? Chestnuts, that's in fall, right? Yeah, that we can harvest in fall. Oh, this we can harvest. We can collect berries over there. We can... Einkorn, that's in fall. Yeah, all of these grains are in fall. Lentils, I think we can harvest now. I think there are quite a few things we can harvest. Oh, bitter vetch we can harvest. May as well say that. And strawberries we can also harvest. Yeah, strawberries, there we go. Okay, so tannins, that's what I was like, what on earth am I talking about? Tannins. So, tannins we can... Oh, you say we can upgrade our... Oh, we can upgrade to a hut. Oh, okay, okay. Well. Well. That is great. So we can now finally have huts. That is going to increase our prestige, isn't it? So let's upgrade some of the main tents over here. Yeah, put some extra workload, add some extra workload here. I don't think we've got everything we need in order to upgrade it, but you know, it's going to be upgraded. Thank you so much for that notification there. Ooh, storage hut. Yep, may as well go for that as well. Let's just say upgrade everything, shall we? I don't think these things cannot be upgraded. That is perfectly fine. Alright, so tannins. Why do plants have tannins? Now, that is the question. So what tannins do is tannins bind to proteins, and it kind of locks it up. And if you're looking at digestion, you know, enzymes are proteins. So if you are an animal that is eating on or feeding on tannin-rich plants, those tannins bind to the enzymes in your stomach, making them inactive, and you don't break down your food the way you should, which is not great. So you may actually die of starvation even though you've got a full belly. It's a very effective anti-herbivory strategy. So it's very commonly found in lots of different plants. Of course, some will have more tannins than others. And if you're looking at tea, for example, rich in tannins, very rich in tannins, doesn't affect us really because, you know, we don't eat so much or get so many tannins in that it affects our digestive system. Red wine also has tannins, and we're still fine. We are still perfectly fine. Let's see. Granary is new, but warehouse can be upgraded, but you will need lots of mud now. So probably set some harvest area and set limit to 10 mud. Ah, thanks for that. So let's work area, mud. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a nice work area over here. That will take in 3 over there. No, that's tannins. I don't want tannins. I want mud. That one is already selected. I want... I think... this one is selected, so this one, and that one. Right. And yeah, mud is 10 units maximum. Perfect. I'm going to put 2 people on mud duty. And 2 people on mud duty, because we do need lots of mud quite quickly now. Workload, 153%, that is perfectly fine. That is 100%. 153%, 156% to be precise, but but it is 100%. Let's say hello there, person 137856492. Hello there. No knowledge of ecology, but from South Africa. Welcome to a fellow South African. Great to have you with us in this stream tonight as well. And I know you are also tonight because South Africa, we have got night at the moment, and I hope you are staying warm because Goodness me, I'm not sure where you are in the country, but at least here in the southern part, as you can see, it's nice and cold. And I think the majority of South Africa at the moment is experiencing a very, very nice cold snap here. Let's see here. I see Fireduck, you also mentioned talking about tannins. Made you remember 5+ years ago when there was a severe drought in South Africa. Buffalo started eating tannin-filled leaves, but some of the Uma lion pride's cubs died. Interesting. So, yeah, the buffalo wouldn't eat too many of it because grasses actually don't really contain tannins. It is what you find. Oh, you do find. There we go. Let me just quickly collect the fruit over here, since I do remember the pear tree has got fruit, and I think the service tree has got fruit. Yeah, may as well just individually select these, come and harvest. And these ones also, these come and harvest the berries over here. So mostly you find with grasses, they've got silica in the leaves, which is a hard crystalline substance that grinds down the teeth of the herbivores. But the shrubs, well, they will contain tannins, which will affect the digestive system of the herbivores. And then, yeah, a lot of predators. Look, severe droughts can be a blessing or a curse for predators, because in severe droughts, a lot of animals are dying. But very often also the weaker individuals die. Water shortage will also affect predators, so that's not great. But if you're looking at, for example, the death of animals, and the weak ones die, they already are emaciated, there's not a lot of meat on the ones that die. Yes, there's a lot of things to eat, but not a lot of proper food to eat. So I can imagine that milk production wouldn't have been great with those lions, and the cubs most likely then would have suffered as a result. Let's see, the only bad upkeep resource is stone for top tier storage and some buildings, but tier 3 houses don't need stone, because stone is quite limited in this game. Aha. I'm going to probably not over harvest stones. It's actually quite strange because, I mean, there are stones everywhere over here. But I know we can't harvest these. Alrighty. Let's see. Warning, while upgrading buildings are not usable, so probably do them one at a time. Yeah, maybe a little bit too late for that. Let's see. Maybe we can cancel that task and cancel that task. Cancel this task. Let's cancel some of the tasks. Okay, there you go. So we've got some of the things being upgraded, not all of them being upgraded. We need mud for the granary, and then the granary can be built. Okay. Oh, okay, I see, person, you are in Berlin at the moment, so you have escaped the severe cold. You are experiencing the northern summer. Oh, that's marvelous. I am dreaming of summer. I can't wait for the longer days of summer. We officially are heading into longer days now, because we have passed the 21st of June. We are now officially in winter, and we can feel it. But as a result, the days are now getting longer. Sun rising slightly earlier in the morning and setting slightly later in the evening. So currently it is dark outside, and I mean it has been dark from around 6 o'clock, 6:15. It has been dark outside, and then a month and a half from now it will still be light out this time, and most likely will be, well, middle of summer. It is light out 7:30 till dusk, and you can still go do stuff, which is really amazing. All right, we've got 4 more hunters. I think we've got we've got a wild donkey and an ibex over here. So we're just going to come and hunt these little critters over here. Of course, we've got an ibex male here. We've got a ram, and with the ibex, of course, the horns here, very, very useful for intraspecific competition, where males are headbutting against one another to determine who is the top, almost said dog, the top goat in the area. And then, you know, the top one gets control or gets the access to the females in the area. They get to reproduce. It really is amazing that sexual selection has selected these amazing horns on the ibexes, or ibises, ibexes, not sure what the plural is, but in an ibex, in the ibex species, where the females like going for the males with the big horns, and because those males with the big horns, they get to reproduce, their genes are passed on, so their male offspring most likely will also have big horns, and over time it just selects for these extravagant head adornments. Of course, there is a point where it just becomes too extravagant and the animals suffer rather than actually benefiting from having it. Oh, I had paused the game, whoopsie daisy. So there is a point where you get this diminishing returns on having big horns, and it actually becomes more of a hassle. Megaloceros, for example, may have been a good example of that. where the Irish elk, they have these big antlers, and it is possible that they could actually have. Where are you going? You're just wandering around. Hopefully, you're going to go drink, so we can actually hunt you. Come on. But the megalosaurs, it would have made it more difficult to move through densely wooded areas, which isn't great, you know. Okay, I think you guys can now stop. I think it's dead. It's already dead. Here we go. Yeah, great stuff. Okay, hunters, though, we do have a wild ass up here as well. Where is that? Where's the wild donkey? There's the wild donkey. May as well go and hunt this one as well. The coloration here really is reminiscent of the Somali wild ass, which is one of the wild donkeys we still have left in the world. Highly endangered, almost extinct, and yeah, really amazing with the typical greyish color and the zebra stripes on the hindquarters there. Such a beautiful animal. Alright. Let's see, you guys are hunting? Yeah, you slowly but surely making your way there. Not worth it. No, stop hunting it. It's just going to wander off and you're just going to do nothing over there. Let's see. Firedaki also mentioned, if you remember correctly, the cubs stopped being able to walk. Sands people autopsied the cubs to make sure they weren't poisoned and said it was white muscle disease. Oh, I'm actually not familiar with white muscle disease. Obviously, I assume it means the muscles go a lighter color. Now, a whiter color muscle, to me, that would indicate maybe like anemia, which may be an iron deficiency, which maybe is due to a shortage of food. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to look it up. If you're watching this afterwards, I will have a comment in the video saying what causes white muscle disease or what drove it. I see Paleo Potato also here. Hello there. Welcome. I hope you are having a wonderful weekend. I see you saying you're working your way through the new update in Monster Hunter Wilds. Oh, lovely. I didn't know Wilds had a new update. That is great. What did they bring in? Or what did they change? New content. That sounds lovely. Wilds is still something I will eventually get for myself. I just cannot fork out 1,400 grand at the moment to buy one game. So I will wait for a little bit later on. Let's see. I see a person also mentioning any Sim Safari or similar game streams coming up. Call you Peter. Okay, hello Peter. I will hopefully remember to call you Peter in future as well. If I forget, please do remind me, because I am horrible with names. If my name wasn't in my ID document, I would most likely also have forgotten it a long time ago already. Right, so let's see. Hello there, Skeet. Welcome to the stream as well. Yes, indeed, Dawn of Man. It is absolutely lovely. So regarding Peter, regarding the Sim Safari, I most likely will revisit Sim Safari again. Unfortunately, my previous stream, half the time there wasn't actually sound from the game, which I don't know how I missed that, because I had something switched around or didn't work properly. I thought there would be sound, there wasn't sound. I could hear the sound in my earphones, not in the actual stream. But I definitely will revisit it again at some point, because it was so much fun to also play it back in the day. And yeah, so can't guarantee when it will happen, but it most likely will happen. There we go, we've got our first granary as well, and the person here is very unhappy. I don't know why. You are generally well fed, you are moderately well rested, more rested than I am at the moment at least, so you have no reason to be upset. Alright, granary, okay. Let's see, what can we build to get? We can get huts. Okay, that will help us get more knowledge points. Storage huts, granary. We need to build 3 more granaries. Okay, and that will also give us more knowledge points.